Growing up, I never felt judged for who I was or the decisions I was making, who I was associated with. I grew up in a really safe environment. I was really lucky. It wasn't until junior year of college when that shifted, and for the first time I felt negatively judged based on who I was with. I had met a guy at a distant friend's house, and we hit it off from the start. We had the same hobbies, we had the same taste in music, we loved to go shopping, and we really connected in a lot of ways.
So about 4 years ago, I had the, now I can say, opportunity and privilege to meet my soon-to-be husband, Chris, at a friend's potluck dinner, uptown New Orleans, that's where we're from, and I couldn't stand him the first time I met him. He constantly talked about his ex-girlfriend. He made terrible jokes, and I just wanted to avoid him. I tell people that story, and 4 years later, they're like, "But you're getting married to this man?" And I say, "Yeah, he's charming, he's funny, he's intelligent, and he loves me." And people are like, "Oh, I have to meet him." And when they meet him, I didn't expect that guy, and I never know if they didn't expect to see Chris as Chris because of their assumptions about me, or their assumptions about what Chris would look like. He's a white male. We were both Southerners, and to see two Southerners of opposite racial identities come together and profess their love for one another, I don't know that a lot of people have seen that.
We decided to start dating, and this was a big decision for us. We had both kind of not had many relationships in our life. He was African American and Creole. His dad was African American and his mom was Creole, and so he had a really cool past that I was really interested in. But that also had a huge impact on our relationship. I had never felt judged based on my skin color before, and although he had more encounters with that, it was something that for the first time I was kind of dealing with. I became immediately known by his friends as white girl, and that was something that I didn't really know how to deal with at first. I kind of laughed it off, thinking that it was a funny way for them to connect with me, but then it became less funny, and I wondered why I was being pointed out based on my skin color. To me, I felt hurt, and I was questioning my decisions. I was angry. I felt unaccepted and confused that people would point out our skin color so often. People would look at us when we were walking down the streets more than I felt was normal. We even had one lady at a McDonald's one time say, "I hope that you two make it work." And when we asked why, she didn't really tell us why, and it was confusing. So I experienced a true and real understanding of the barriers that stereotypes play into acceptance.
Since we do live in the residence halls, as I'm a resident director, Chris visits me often at work. And I love that he visits me at work because my students and my student staff get to see a relationship that's fully functional. We enjoy each other, we enjoy each other's company, we have fun. And I think dispelling those assumptions of what that kind of relationship should look like is something that Chris and I do on a daily basis, because students are like, "That's what I want," regardless that we don't match in our skin tone. That's really important to me, to show a fully functional, healthy relationship regardless of the packaging it comes in. It's really kind of neat to see that. And so every day I don't have any assumptions about my students and what they think and what they do and who they choose to have a relationship with, who they choose to fall in love with, because it's really not a choice. Once you have your match, you have your match. And so for me, it is a privilege to say that you can count me in to always recognize that no matter who you love, as long as you're in a healthy relationship, I can support that, and you can count me in to believe in you.
We've come a long way since 1967, when interracial marriage was finally accepted in all 52 states of the US. However, many interracial couples still search for acceptance. That's why you can count me in to stand up to discrimination. You can count me in to make sure that my staff and my residents in the halls I work in don't buy into assumptions or stereotypes. You can count me in.